I'm not getting hungry straight away. We are here today, as I said, talking about the dining experience on Princess. Now, when you talk to your guests, I'm sure you are leading with what Princess is known for. We are known for our incredible destinations we visit, over 345 phenomenal destinations with 17 ships that are beautiful, taking your guests there. But on top of that, we're known for the sensational service of the team, powered as well, not just by their years of experience and passion, but also the medallion class experience. But as well as that, the third thing is and always has been food. Now, what I love about Food with Princess is we're known for it. And there are so many fantastic options for your guests to enjoy the phenomenal dishes on board the ship. Today, what I'm going to do with the help of our special guest is talk about what Princess is known for. So we talk about the different restaurants. We're also going to talk about the different categories of dining, whether it be casual, included or complimentary, speciality, experimental. We're going to talk about Ocean Now delivery. We're going to guide you through the beverage offerings as well as some of the bars we've got on board. There's so much to talk about. But food is a journey, right? Dining especially, it becomes moments that you share, experiences, and it's not just eating food. It really is a special part of cruising. And today, I get to be joined by our culinary champion, Marcus Bean, who really is one of the people on board, one of our culinary champions that brings the journey through food alive. And you might have seen Marcus. You might have seen him as a talented chef, author, TV presenter. He also was part of Princess's Good Food show at sea. He's known for his passion for fresh ingredients. And, well, he's a familiar face on British television. This face definitely wouldn't be it. You might have even seen him on ITV's This Morning. So, Marcus, straight away, hello, how are you? Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Mike. Great introduction there. Yeah, really excited to be here, and obviously, most importantly, excited to chat to everybody about the incredible food and drink on board on Princess. Being a culinary champion has been a bit of an amazing journey, really, so far. And I suppose it's probably good just to tell you how it started, really, because I was complete cruise virgin. Other than doing a ferry, from across the water to literally get to France. That was about my limit. I'd never been on a cruise before, and a partnership came about with Good Food Show, as you mentioned earlier, which was BBC Good Food Show originally, and Princess, and essentially bringing what we did at a food show, which was everything from experiential stuff. So not only bringing talent, and a lot of things like that, but cookery demonstrations, interactions, book signing, workshops, talks, interviews, the whole process. We wanted to really submerge people in that food process. And, Princess fit really well because of that whole food scene they have. But when we got on board, I actually ended up doing 16 days, pretty much solid.
Oh, it's a tough life.
They were like, you can have a couple of days off. And to be honest, because we had talent coming on and off all the time, I was the only one that stayed on, and I just loved it. And I came away from it, and honestly, I was absolutely blown away. I had put on a couple of stone by the time I'd finished 16 days, because I just, for me, being a chef, I just love food. And I think that's the exciting thing for me, was coming on board and realizing how much detail and how much process went in, and how much was made on board, and how many options there were. And that's really where the journey began. So we came away from this incredible food show, and it was like I say, I was sort of brought on by the food show team to become and present and host and work with the talent. And we both, myself and a friend, Andy, also a culinary champion, who's a great sort of food and drink writer and all sorts. And we came away and we just loved that experience. We were like, how can we do something to carry on this relationship and carry on going and obviously submerge ourselves in cruises and eating. And that's basically where it started. Luckily, we had some great feedback from a lot of people on board naming us, and that's where it started. And then that's where obviously they created the Culinary Champion, but we'd already sparked that conversation between each other. So it's super exciting for me. And the journey so far has been amazing. So if you love food and drink, and I love food and drink, it's like the perfect job, I'm not going to lie.
I love it. But I guess as well, when you came on board, you had to make sure this was the perfect match for you. Like, you're known for fresh local produce, and so I guess when you were looking at what we were delivering at Princess, it had to match what you want to be aligned with. So I'm glad that's the
Yeah,
case.
exactly. I think that's the most important thing with a lot of stuff, isn't it? You know, if we're working with brands, it's really important, especially as a chef as well, when you're putting your name to something. And because I'm not going on board, for example, and actually going in the kitchen and starting to cook everything. I'm there to really showcase that and actually tell it from a chef's point of view and from my eyes, essentially. And that's why obviously getting in the galley and connecting with people and understanding the food and even there's even things, as chefs at a really high level that we would do that, sometimes we would actually get someone else to do, like whether that's making bread at like high-end Michelin star restaurants. They won't necessarily make their own bread, but of course, even on things like Princess, we're making bread fresh every day. We're making all the pastries fresh every day. And that is, that's a great detail. And it's a lot of manpower, a lot of hours. And it really does make that difference. And you notice it on board, which is a special thing.
And this is what I love about food. Food is like entertainment. It's not just what you eat. It's that it's passionate, right? And that's one of the reasons we were so excited you'd be joining us today. So please keep jumping in whenever you want to talk about things. So what we're really going to do as well is talk about the different things we're known for, whether it be having the best pizza at sea, restaurants like Sabatini's, the Cats by Rudy, of course, Makoto Ocean. We've got places like Sabatino Crown Grill as well. There's so many fantastic restaurants on boards. And yeah, that's what we're going to do today. But what I want to do straight away, Marcus, is I mentioned at the start there'll be random quick fire questions and people need to answer the question before my colleague Josephine writes stop. So the first question, let's see how people get in. You could be winning yourself a £10 Costa Coffee card voucher. Let's do it. The first question is, this Sunday, 26th of April at 8 p.m, Princess Cruises takes centre stage for a brand new docuseries, Cruising to the End of the Earth. What channel is it on? Now, you've got to write your answer down, chuck it in there before Josephine writes stop. What channel is this docuseries? The answer's coming in. I'm going to count it down then. 4, 3, 2, 1, stop. One of you. Josephine, did many people get it right? Yes, that makes me happy. All right, good. I'm really excited about this docuseries, and I'm going to say it now and say it again. Watch it, get ready, because we're also going to tie in this docuseries. I'm not saying what prize is coming up for our next edition of the Princess Pub Quiz, but it's going to tie into the docuseries, and I'm excited about the prize. So let's get to our first category, which is complimentary dining, and it's something really important. Guests, when you send your guests on board, they don't need to pay to experience fantastic food on board our ships. So there's lots of different options available. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. There's free ice cream on the top deck, on the pool decks. I have to say straight away, and I'm going to get in there first, Marcus, I've worked at sea for 15 years. I walked on the Sky Princess to the top deck buffet. We're getting ready for our travel agent ship visits. I walked onto that top deck buffet and I was blown away. And this is embarkation day, to a level that I recorded what was on the buffet and sent it to my colleagues that I've been working with and was like, this is embarkation day. I was on the Majestic last week and I was eating, I had spicy mac and cheese with chicken wings, and I had beautiful meats, and there's so many great, fantastic vegetarian and vegan options and stuff for every dietary requirement. My dietary requirement is that I want meat so rare that it's still sort of moving on the plate. That's sort of what I'm after. But yeah, I just love that our complimentary offer is amazing. Whether you're going to watch a movie on the top deck and you want to have free popcorn and cookies, we're going to give you the blankets and the beautiful bed and watch the... I'm really passionate about this, and it's some great options. But anything before we go through the different options you want to say about in general about the complimentary offering?
I just think, generally, as you mentioned, really, I mean, the variety of food that available is amazing. And it's interesting, actually, because we obviously connected with a lot of people when we've been on board, when we've done trips, and the amount of people that just stick with with going to the eatery and just having that, because there's so much options. So one day you can have Italian, one day you can have French, one day you can have, Indian, one day you can have Asian food. You can have a variety of so many different things. And I mean, don't get me wrong, like lots of people do sit there and they'll graze and you can go back, So there's so much variety. I think that's the beauty of it. I mean, sometimes I go in there and you don't even realize there's like another side to it and there's another edge
That's
to it.
100%.
And it goes on. Yeah. And then also, as well, if you don't realize sometimes as well in the evening, later on in the evening, they actually box a few things up as well. And you can have things on the side which you can go and get later on as well. So there's just always options. And they obviously don't like any waste on board. So they're always trying to think of ways of renewing it. But yeah, it's just so vast, and I think that's the beauty of it, because they're very clever in what they do. They're very very balanced in things, and there is so many people that do it. The only thing I would say, if you just ate in there every day, is that you miss out on so many other incredible dining options. So do experience
100%.
it, but maybe for a day, but don't miss the whole of the rest of it. So you've got to make use of everything because there's so much on board.
I just want to make sure everyone knows that it's not just the paid options that are just sensational. I mean, you can imagine how much is even more elevated. You mentioned the word waste, and working on sea for so many years, I want to mention that straight away. Food waste is a huge passion for Princess, and there's something actually called midnight mess for the crew. It actually doesn't start at midnight, quite random. But a lot of the things from the buffet that are still, of course, warm will go down for the team members in the evening, and it's just fantastic. So they're ready for that set of food, as well as the food they cook fresh as well for the team members. But it's so popular in the evening. Let's go through a couple of these different complimentary venues. I love it. We just mentioned the buffet straight away. We've already mentioned the buffet. I've just clicked over it there. Lots of different names for it is all I want to mention, so just keep an eye for that. It's called the Eatery on Sphere Class. International Cafe is something I'm really passionate about. I don't know why the picture hasn't come up. I've ran this 15 times. It's never been a problem. But all I want to say from International Cafe is it's in the atrium or the internet or the piazza. And of course, they've got paid for options like the fancy coffees, right? But they have loads of things to pick up, maybe a little sandwich or cookies or snacks. And it was the first ever 24-hour eating establishment or eating venue on board a cruise ship. There's a random fact for you there. In the world of food, Princess led the way with a 24-hour option, which is pretty exciting too. I must admit the cookies there are absolutely sensational.
I think I'm not going to lie, like we've experienced it a lot. As you can imagine, the food show, when we were doing that for 16 days, this became a staple in the morning, in the afternoons. We got to know some of the team there. So, everything from getting, obviously, as you say, a coffee. But of course, also now it becomes, a bit of it's sort of almost a social spot later in the evenings as well. So when some of the other venues are finished, whether that's the restaurants, the dining room, the karaoke, the concerts, the theatre, all those things are finished, people tend to just find a nice little space where they want to chill out. You've got your comfy chairs. You can go and order, as you said. You've got enormous amounts of pastries. You've got hot toasties. You've got these incredible sandwiches that you can have 24 hours a day. On top of that, you can have coffee and hot drinks, but you can also actually have a little alcoholic beverage as well, maybe a touch of Negroni in the evening. So there's loads of things. I think it's become a really great staple. As you said, it's different on each ship, but I think it's an amazing thing to have, and it does. We met so many people at the end of an evening and really connected with them and made great friends, which I think is really important part of it, as well as not just eating and socialising. It's all bringing it all together.
People do. We said that you will see the same. There could be 4,000 guests on board, but you will see the same people over and over again because people will have the same habits. And talking of habits, experience in the main dining room, I've got to talk about that. Main dining room is really, really special. I want to straight away get to this picture because this was actually this Friday. We were on the Majestic. What a ship she is. We were getting ready for our big ship visit program and some fantastic venues. But we walked into the dining room doing our practice walk through what we're going to do with the travel agents. And I saw this gentleman and I said to him, hey, sir, quick question. Which days of the week do you do elegant nights and captain's nights? And I was chatting to him about it, right? Making sure we were ready for our travel agents. And he started talking to us with all this passion and experience. And I said to him, I've done 15 years at sea, and the way I'm talking to me makes me feel like I'm like a rookie at cruise ship knowledge. And he's like, well, got a couple more years in you. He done 40 years with Princess Cruises.
Wow.
He's the man that's leading the dining operation. And I guess for me, he's got that passion after 40 years. The team, imagine him leading the dining operation on board. That experience is priceless. Like whether he's organization, whether it's service, whether it's quality that's coming out, like I just thought it was so amazing that he was there, and it was just great chatting to him about the dining experience in general. What do you think of our main dining rooms?
I think the main dining room is really lovely, and actually it's been a really great social space for us for a lot of occasions. So there has been nights where, we might not have had something booked, or again, we sort of, throughout the journeys, we sort of planned stuff, but again, we wanted to get together as a group. But, sometimes you want to be able to go and sit in a restaurant, don't you, and still have that great food. And I think that's the beauty of a main dining room, is you can go in, feel like you're in a restaurant, sit down, be served. You've got a lovely menu. Again, they pull in dishes from all over. So, you've got some really great options, and it just feels nice and beautiful. And again, it's a big space, but it's generally a really lovely, great space. And the beauty of Princess, again, as you mentioned, really is the staff. You have some really incredible staff that are great, and they remember you and they recognize your face, and it just becomes like, going to that sort of local restaurant. You get that vibe, you get that sort of relationship with the staff, and everybody recognize you. And I think that's where it's the beauty. And again, lots of people do regularly eat at the main dining room, and it becomes their staple because the menu's changing quite a lot as well, depending on where you are. So you've got loads of flexibility. So I think it does become regular again. So I definitely advise everybody to go there and try it out. But again, there's just so much. I think, you've got to try and cram in all those experiences and get yourself booked in for all of them.
I would also always like, as a travel agent, to try to give you things that you can say to your guests. And one of the things I would always be told about is never miss out Baked Alaska night on a Princess dining room. It can generally happen later on in the cruise. It's just a little bit of extra fun. With the dining rooms as well, there'll be a captain's night. There'll be a formal night, more like a dress to impress. It is... you do get dressed up, right? But it's not quite as formal as some other. Sometimes people think it's not a tuxedo every night. That's absolutely not what it is. We are. It's not shorts and flip-flops and a singlet, like a vest on elegant night, of course. Golf attire, at least, is generally what I would always say. And it's nice to get dressed up on an elegant night too. So it is those nights it's important to get dressed up for. I want to quickly as well for this say that you can also decide to sit with strangers. And that's a great one as well. If you don't want to just sit with the person you're with, sitting with people make the best friends on cruise ships. So I just want to throw it out there. And remember, back in the day on cruises, you could book a cabin and not know who was your roommate. That was actually a thing. Would you do that, Marcus?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that.
No, I'm with you as well. You don't have to say yes to that.
Yeah, dining habits, yes, absolutely up for sharing dining tables, connecting with people over food, breaking bread, as they say.
Yeah.
Not sure about a cabin or a room.
Okay, I'm deeply offended.
I think we've moved on from that.
Not inviting you anymore.
Yourself, Mike, will be fine, but I'm not sure about any sort of random punter.
Okay, I love it. So I want to mention as well, we've got our Sanctuary collection on the Sphere class ships, and there is a Sanctuary restaurant. With our Sanctuary and our Reserve collection dining, they just turn up. You just walk in and turn up as you like. Just come on in the evenings and enjoy the dining room as well. It is a slightly elevated, different menu when you book those cabins too. And of course, one of the big things I want to mention for dining is there are advantages. If you go with a set dining early, late, generally you're going to get the same wait staff. You get to know them. You get a rhythm. A lot of times people don't want to do that. Your guests might just want to turn up, which they can. It'd be a different dining space. They can turn up. If it's busy, they might get a pager, like a beeper, that will let them know when to come back. And when you've got as many bars as we have, that's not a bad option too. So I just want to mention that Sanctuary collection and Reserve collection has got an elevated dining experience too. So let's keep going. I've got to quickly mention Medallion class. How could I not? You can make dining reservations on the Princess app. The Medallion app is fantastic. You can make dining reservations 6 months in advance once you've paid for the entire cruise fare, unless of course you are one of our top tier Captain Circle guests, and then it's slightly different. The medallion advice, it's fantastic as it goes, and I want to quickly show you just how simple it is to navigate your dietary requirements and how to use our medallion option. Come on, here it is. So here we go. You literally go on here and you go to dining preferences. You can simply click on it. You decide, you put down your dietary requirements, your allergens. Of course, we want to make sure we're looking after everyone on board. You mark if you've got any dietary requirements here. You put, where would you like to sit? Do you want to eat fast? Do you want to eat slow? Do you want to have the same time? Your table preferences. This is what you can do on there. And I just wanted to show you quickly how simple it really is. I also want to mention, I mentioned it before, I mention it again, we've got phenomenal vegan menus and plant-based options for our guests. They came out all the way back in 2023 and they're going fantastic. I will always mention, if you've got allergies, intolerances, you need support, you fill in the app, of course, make sure you do that. And you're generally going to get put over to our main dining room team, someone like Giuseppe, who will make sure our team can look after you so that your cruise is amazing. Now, what I would always say for allergens, dietary requirements, is buffets are not your friend, because you don't know what other guests have done. But when you go to the buffet, if you have any needs or support you want, any dietary requirements, you can just speak to our dining team up there and they will also sort it out for you to make sure you get what you need. Yeah, the last thing I want to mention is just Ocean Now deliveries, we're going to talk about soon. But we have got room service at all. Your guests can get room service if it will come outside the room and get the basic things in the morning for free. But if they want to as well, they can get room service or using the Ocean Now medallion, they can get food sent to them, whether it be in their rooms, fantastic, or on the pool deck. They can be relaxing, watching a movie, have pizza or hot dogs, whatever, brought over to them. The team members will know where they're sat because of the medallion, and it really does elevate that experience. So please do keep that in mind. The medallion, or the Ocean Now, as I should call it, is $15 to activate, and then it means like free delivery around the ship. But if you've got a package, it is included, and it really does make a difference. All I want to say as well for this is, if you've got a package and you've got Ocean Now delivery, you wake up in the morning, first thing you do, you log on your phone, you order that specialty coffee with an extra shot of espresso, whipped cream, caramel, and then you're still in bed, you knock on the door, it gets to your room. And because you're on a package, it's included. My wife is waiting for me to get ready for dinner and she wants to have a cocktail. That can get sent to your stateroom as well. And it really does elevate the experience. As well as that, I was chatting to a lady last week and she was saying she is in a wheelchair, and she said when she goes in the hot tub, she uses the chair, she's in there, she doesn't want to get out and order a drink. She can just order it on the app and it gets brought over to her, which has been such a game changer. So I just want to highlight that. Now, what we're going to do now is quickly, because we're right on time, is talk about the different dining options as well. The next one is casual dining. So let's talk about casual dining. What do you think of this, Marcus? What casual dining?
I mean, to be honest, I love the sort of casual dining options available. And I think, again, I mean, there is so many options with eating on board, and we talk about your common speciality and things like that as well in a minute. But the casualty dining options are vast. I think a lot of them, obviously, people might use generally for some of the parts of them. Things like, you've got, for example, like O'Malley's Irish Pub, which again you can sort of go to at different times that day. You've got Salty Dog Gastropub, which is a really great one as well. I mean, the Ocean Terrace Sushi, you, again, tend to find a lot of people having these as sort of their lunch and daytime options, and then maybe going sort of slightly more formal, more restauranty in the evening. But there's just so many options. And I think this is the beauty of it. Again, you've got everything you want and everything you need available pretty much in every area of the ship, which is fantastic. So, and the pizzas, the hot dogs, the burgers, they're really great quality, and again, we know all the buns are made from scratch. We know the pizza dough's made from scratch. Everything is absolutely spot on in terms of its flavour.
Fantastic. I could, yeah, perfect. So your guests can pay for these a la carte. Let's give Alfredo's Pizza. They could pay for a starter, a main, a dessert individually. If they want to do a starter, main, and dessert, they can pay $15, and they can have that combination. It's basically normally about half price for kids to do as well, younger children, of course, and it really is special. Now, all I want to say for these is you can have 4 of them included if you are doing Princess Plus. So these are super popular, as you said. And if you're on Princess Premier, you can eat these as much as you want. I don't know how I just said the word Premier there. That was really random. But we are absolutely known for the best pizza at sea. We have to highlight, though, O'Malley's Irish Pub. You just mentioned it. This is my kind of venue, not just because I'm hosting the O'Malley's Princess Pub quiz on the 29th. That's not the only reason. But this venue has got so popular that some princess came out and they made an expanded O'Malley's on board the Star Princess, because it's so popular. On the Majestic Princess, they've just added it in. And I just want to show you a quick video of why O'Malley's is so special. Want a beer now, right? It's really cool pub menu. It's a great bar, live music. They've got a pub duo in the O'Malley's on Majestic. 2 lads from Liverpool. Liverpool, they told us, like, just like that's my kind of venue. Hang out there all evening, have a second dinner. Why not? There is a saying for me that my wife jokes that I'm the person that comes on the ship as a guest and I leave the ship as cargo. That is absolutely me. So many
it's such a great addition. I think again, it's one that we spent a lot of time in. We didn't actually
Thank you for doing that for us. There.
We didn't have it on the first cruise we did. It was a food show. So the second and third and other cruises we've done, it's just been a great addition. And it ends up, like you say, the musicians bring the place alive. They bring loads of people in. It's a great social environment. The option of having food in there is really fantastic as well, because you just can go and feel like you're in a really great pub listening to live music. It's very, it's very sort of open. It's not, it feels intimate. It feels special. And again, they take requests on the music. The staff are great. The whiskies they've got obviously is a great selection as well. The only thing I need you to do at some point is get a Guinness on there. But other than that, you've got a great stout. You just need to get a Guinness on there. But one day.
I am all about it. I'm all about it. As long as you've got a stout, I'm happy though. We've also got to quickly mention this because we've got to keep moving. We've got a Brazilian grill. I talked about Asia. Asia went live. Japan and Southeast Asia did a webinar last week. Thanks to everyone that watched it. The video is live. But they've got out there on the Diamond and Sapphire Princess, the Brazilian grill. It's got the cards that turn over red or green. They cut the meat right there on your table. Just absolutely amazing. And just want to highlight, when you're talking to your guests about the Diamond Princess and the Sapphire Princess, there's so much excitement for Asia cruising right now. And I want to mention for food for that, we're over there sailing out of Japan with up to 80% sometimes guests from Japan or that area of the world as well on board. So in the dining room, of course, we will make sure the dining room menu suits for you, for guests that are from the UK, probably majoritarily, as well as those guests from there. So what fantastic options they're going to have on that menu. Quick fire question. I'm going to start the counter right now. We currently have a fam trip incentive live until the 30th of April, which means travel agents, by booking a Princess cruise, filling in the form, could be joining us to 2 different locations. This is going on right now. One location is in one part of the world. One location is in the other part of the world. Can you tell me what are the 2 destinations for our fam trip incentive? This includes flights, balcony cabin. It's going to come with a package. It's a full fam trip incentive. Have we got many answers in so far? We have 3, 2, 1. I'm going to stop it there. I'm going to tell them the answer. Did I tell them the answer to the last one? Channel 4 was the last question. And this question, the answer is West Coast. So excited. And then, of course, we're flying out of the Med as well. So that is what's going on there. And yeah, now it's time to talk about speciality dining. Now, we can't talk for too long about each one of these. It's going to be really hard. Speciality dining in general, upscale, full experience. How would you summarize quickly what speciality dining on Princess really is, Marcus?
I mean, it's sort of I don't know, I suppose it's just it's exactly what it says, it's exactly what it says in the tin. It's speciality dining. And I think sometimes we don't really, well, I know I didn't really think of it as that sort of high level dining, and it just is. I mean, I've got so many great ones I love, obviously, with speciality dining. I think, I'm a big meat lover, so I have to say Crown Grill is sort of right up there. For me, it's something that I tend to sort of frequent at least a couple of times while I'm on board, if not more. The steaks, the quality of the meat, the cooking, the process, the sides they do on the sort of the family sharing sides, which is great. The variety of different salts you can get with your steaks, and I just think there's so many different ones. Then you've got things like Sabatini's. You've got also the Butcher's Block, which I experienced last time by Dario, which is great. Which is again very much sort of like that sort of Tuscan family style sharing, which is really, really lovely. And there's a lot of theatre to it as well, so it's very much an experience. And then I love Catch by Rudy. I mean, there's just the fish, and I bear in mind when we did the first food show at sea, I took a lot of chefs on board. So we had people like Gennaro Contaldo, I had John Terode, who obviously now is a fellow culinary champion, had lots of other chefs we were bringing on board. And we went and we and I'm like, how good can fish be at sea, because obviously an element, we're not catching it.
Yeah, we haven't got rods.
Yeah, exactly. We're not catching it off the ship and bringing it in. We're bringing it in, obviously we're getting it ready. And also I know the dynamics of the kitchen, the kitchen isn't right there. We've got big kitchens and we're trying to sort of set it all up. So, and we were all blown away by the quality of how the food was cooked. I had like a sole meuniere dish, which is basically really classically, button floured, pan fried, and they do it table side. So it's almost like being in the in the Savoy or in the Ritz, where they're doing the table side, sort of filleting the fish for you and then plating it up. It's just incredible, and I think that people do not realise how good it is. And from a chef's point of view, to sit down and experience that. And I've told Rudy, I've been lucky to meet him a couple of times. Just the Catch and some of the other ones in Love by Brito, the detail is so exceptional. It takes a lot of time, but they get it right and they nail it every time. So this is something that makes that experience really special, and something that every time someone goes and experiences and has, and dines in one of these venues, you remember, and I would advise at least doing it at least once, I mean, you've got to keep coming back and booking more cruises to be able to experience all of them, I suppose.
It's great. So I want to talk from a shipboard point of view on this as well. The locations of the restaurants are phenomenal, like often placed in areas that are really bright, getting the outside in, really special for that. But I also want to talk about the crew again. The team members, if they're working in the dining room now, they probably started off in the staff mess and then the crew mess and then the officers mess, and then they get a job in the dining room. And then to get into one of the speciality restaurants, whether you're the chef or the wait staff, this really is something that there's so much pride and passion for. Like if you meet the chef of, let's say, Makoto Ocean, he's not going to say he's a chef. He's going to say proudly he is the chef in Makoto Ocean. And I think that can't be quantified when that passion for food comes across, as we're hearing from you now, Marcus. I'm going to quickly go through. Tell me, 30 seconds or less. We got to go Makoto Ocean. This is all about sushi. Are you a sushi fan? Handcrafted sushi?
So love it. I think again, this wasn't on the first ship we did with the Good Feature at Sea. So again, for us, experiencing this on board is really lovely. Again, I think it's one, I think everybody has a love for sushi. There's also a lot of families. I know my kids absolutely love sushi, sashimi. So they're really into that as well. So I think it becomes a really good, special sort of family environment where you can sit, you can enjoy, you can see that craft and detail. So of course you can see a lot of it right in front of your eyes as well, which is great. So you can capture that. There is so many different dishes on there. They do an incredible miso cod dish, and then they've got obviously a lot of the sushi and sashimi. The flavors are just fantastic. So I think this is one that really blew me away the last couple of times we've been on board. And again, I mean, it is very busy. So trying to get in, if you book via
Yeah.
the app, sometimes we're quite last minute. So, but I have had the experience and I love it. I think it's incredible, the flavors they put out. And as you said, you've got some incredible, passionate staff. And there is a great deal of skill in sushi and sashimi. It's not something you just pick up and you go, bang, I'm doing it. You've got to really put in a lot of craft, and especially, as you said, sort of, the classic sushi style, these guys train for years and years to become, exceptional at their craft.
Yeah, and that location you can see in the picture, that is the Sphere. That is, you are in the Sphere.
You are, yeah, and actually it's quite nice. You've got that sort of open space as well, so it's really sort of lovely. You've got a nice sort of area, so yeah, and then you're coming on to one of my favourites as well next.
Yeah, we got. I'm trying to get through these in less than a minute each, but it's hard because they're so incredible, right?
Yeah.
Teppanyaki, it's fun. It's an experience. Like some of the things they can do right there, cooking in front of you. The camaraderie. It's entertainment as well as food. I'm gonna have to push you for time, Marcus, in 30 seconds or less. Why should the guest book Teppanyaki?
Fun, excitement, food. Just hilarious, brilliant, incredible, interactive. I think it's just an amazing experience that you have to do. And the chefs are just phenomenal. And also, I just think you'll love it. And there's so much food as well, which is amazing.
So much food. All right, we're going to try it again. I'm going to need to quick tell me about Butcher's Block. The one thing I was told about Butcher's Block, you have to arrive hungry, and it is a meat lover's paradise. They're the two things I was told.
That's it. And I think there's a really great story part of it. So, going on there is very much part of the story and the journey and the family, and obviously Dario and what they've created and the idea of that Tuscan style eating. So yeah, you do get a lot about the story, you get a lot about the dishes. Again, they'll have the dishes, they'll bring them out. So if it's the meat's coming out, the steak, they'll tell you about that. It's really really part of a really sort of almost like it's a bit like a chef's table experience, but for a whole dining room, if that makes sense. So I think it's really fantastic to interact with it, and something that, again, you will do at least once, and experience and just love the theatre, the drama, and also, of course, the staff really bring the whole experience to life. And I think Dario would be very impressed with every night that they put on, for the guests that are on board.
I love it. We've already did Love by Ritu. We showed the video at the start, so I can't go too much into it.
That's a classic. Just experience it once. I mean, as you said, location on the ships is amazing. Sunset, if you are in the restaurant at the time, unbelievable, because you're looking obviously straight out to the ocean. And the food, it's art, it's food, it's presentation, it's detail. I mean, everything is just beautiful, and it's all about love. So everything is heart-shaped, everything is pink, everything is red, everything is colourful. It's just beautiful. Yeah, you this is an experience. This is fine dining, really, I suppose, at sea, and done exceptionally well.
It is for memories. I said to you 30 seconds and I tried to talk, so I'm going to have to move through because we're now going on to a favourite. I've got a 30-second video. If you're not hungry enough, you will be after this on Crown Grill. So, you hungry, Marcus? Because I certainly am.
Honestly, I absolutely love the Crown Grill, and I've had a couple of people who I know locally have actually been, since I've been doing this, have obviously followed my journey, and they're like, "Well, I booked on," and I was like, "Go to the Crown Grill," and they just absolutely love it, because it's not, it's rare to find a really great steak and seafood restaurant anywhere, even in the UK as a whole. So I think finding it on board is special, and there's just those little touches that just make it different. You've got an incredible dining room, like this year actually, when we did the Caribbean trip, I was lucky enough to go down and we actually did a bit of filming, and I was cooking the steaks on the grill and learning about that process. And when you start to break it down, you realize how much love goes into it. But yeah, I mean, there's some incredible dishes in there, and exceptionally cooked steak, surf and turf, some great dessert, sharing style
The
sides. As I said,
desserts.
that's
Oh,
what you want. Family, yeah, just everything goes on the table.
yeah.
So you've got your dip. I mean, it's brilliant, and the wines paired with it are perfect.
I
Really
love
good.
it. We're gonna keep rolling through to the next one, which is Catch by Rudy. I've got to emphasize again, though, that there is unlimited speciality dining with the Princess Premier package. So you'll get all the ones we're talking about so far. Unlimited casual dining as well. It's all in with the Princess Premier. And so this is another restaurant. We've got to go Catch by Rudy. We're going to try and do this
So good.
and just get excited. We really are short of time, so we can't talk for too long about it. But give me 30 seconds on the wow of Catch by Rudy. Can I actually jump in first? I've met
Yeah,
Rudy a bunch of times, and when you say about people being passionate about food, within 7 seconds of meeting this person, you feel his passion and his
you do.
enthusiasm for life.
And you can see him generally 'cause he's got massive hair. He's got really big, bright red trousers on. He's
Yeah.
bubbly and jumpy. But yeah, I think again, when I met him a couple of times, he's like, it's a no-brainer. It's like, cooking fresh fish at sea. What more do you need? But everything is there. It's the drama. It's the location. It's the crockery. Everything is sort of shaped around fishes. The water jugs are, fishes, and it's just everything. But the detail and the quality of the fish is absolutely superb. So yeah, no, this is, if you love fish, you love seafood, you have to experience this. It's something I would never have ever dreamed of experiencing on a cruise ship.
That was fantastic 30 seconds. We're short of time. We've got to go to Sabatini's. I have to show you a video for this
Oh, so
because
good.
these are the staples of Princess. Let's check out this video.
Again, Sabatini's is fantastic, and fresh pasta made every day. I mean, different varieties. Obviously, you've got some incredible dishes as well on there. So again, you've got meats, you've got fishes, you've got all sorts. But this is really sort of beautiful. I've actually had some really lovely speciality sort of themed lunches and dinners as well at Sabatini's, which are tied in with some other suppliers. So again, you'll find an incredible team who are super passionate about it. Amazing fresh pastas and dishes. I had an amazing cacio e pepe dish on there. There's just so much to see and do, and it has that authentic sort of Italian vibe to it. So lots of
That's it. That's the one that I feel like you feel that you're in a venue, you're in a destination in Sabatini's. It takes you there. I don't know. It feels so authentic. You
Yeah.
could be anywhere in the world in Sabatini's. I absolutely love it. So
Again,
we are short of time, but we have to talk about experiential dining. I can't say it right.
experiential.
Thank you for getting me on that one. Quickly mentioning this, we're going to do 360 last. Let's talk balcony dining experience. That picture says it all. You can sit on a balcony, breakfast or dinner, and have a private experience on your own balcony with just a fantastic menu. You've experienced this, haven't you, Mark?
Yeah, we did breakfast actually, and we did some filming, and it was just great. I mean, it was just so lovely to sit on your balcony. Again, we did the morning, so the sun was obviously coming up. It was bright, beaming, beautiful variety of obviously incredible fresh fruits, and then we had sort of everything from eggs and smoked salmon, and we had champagne. I mean, it was just incredible. So I think there's again so many different options. I think sometimes just dependent on how you feel, you know what it's like. You don't always feel like just leaving your room. Your room's great. You've got an incredible balcony, you've got the ocean. Why would you not want to do that? So I think this is an
Maybe you're on your
option.
honeymoon. That's it, right?
Exactly. And I,
Yeah.
and I just think it gives you that slightly different, intimate experience where you don't necessarily have to go and be out and about with everybody. You don't necessarily have to dress up. And I think that's a really special moment. You can bring the food to you. So I think this is a great option for lots of people, and something that just gives you that really fantastic variety, but also being right on that ocean side is something special, whether it's the evening or whether it's that lovely bright sunshine in the middle of the day.
And the arrival into places like Alaska, imagine that in Alaska.
Oh,
Just
blown away.
unbelievable. Chef's Table, quickly, we've got to take about. We've got Chef's Table and Chef's Table Lumiere. These are a journey with lots of different courses, wine pairings done by our executive chef. It's a multi-course dinner. Quickly, I need to know a little bit more about why you think Chef's Table is special.
His chef's table is a really great experience. Again, obviously, I've done lots of these myself over the years, and I think it's just getting that connection. And because the chef obviously creates a menu, so you might end up with certain dishes from certain restaurants that they will bring on, and obviously you will have as part of your sort of tasting journey. So I think it's a great way of obviously just being able to really balance that. Obviously, you can tie in your dietaries into that as well. I think it's just a great experience. I would also, and just on the sort of chef's part and the exec, I would also as well, definitely recommend trying to do a galley tour as well if you have the opportunity. For anybody who goes aboard, I'd also recommend that to any of your guests if they're booking, because it's incredible to go down and just see the kitchens every day. They're testing the dishes, and you get to meet the exec chefs and see what goes into every single dish every single day within those kitchens. They're running 24 hours. So really special experience. But yeah, Chef's Table is a great one. Again, you could do it as a group. You could just go as a couple and have other people there. There's lots of options you can do, but a great experience overall.
I call my dad a foodie, and he still says the best meal he's ever had was the Chef's Table. Now, after he had, I think it was 8 courses with 8 glasses of wine, I'm not quite sure how much he remembers it, but he still makes that statement. So I like it. And now I'm going to quickly show you 360.
The 360 venue is a really unique space. We have interactive tabletops. We have a 360-degree LED screen.
It's not just a movie, if you will. It's not just a dinner. It is really about conversation. It's about local cultures.
We want to tell the story of the Mediterranean. We want our guests to be transported there.
Haven't actually experienced this one, just because it's not been on the ships that I've been on. But obviously, I have sort of learned a little bit about it. The great thing about this, again, is very much an experiential part of it. So a bit like a chef's table, but lifted to another level. So, you have got all the sounds and the images of the spaces that you're in. So dependent on what the cuisine you're eating, you're going to have that space, that aroma, those views. It's a really incredible space and something that's very unique. So you do find this popping up now. I suppose over the last few years, we've seen this sort of almost over the dining scene in general, where people can go and experience these. But as far as I know, never having this on a cruise ship. So this is something that is just, if you love your food and you like to be able to submerge yourself into something a little bit different. And it's also very much about senses, experiential. You're seeing things, you're hearing things, but then you're tasting that, and all those things obviously about the seeing and the hearing and the smelling all have that effect of obviously how you perceive your food. If you look at someone like Heston Blumenthal, that would be a good relation of what you would think of a 360 experiential dining is. So it's really good to do. Again, I'm sort of looking forward to hopefully experience it at some point in Princess. But I know a lot about these things. Yeah. So again, it's something, if you've got the chance to do it, 100% recommend. And again, variety of different dishes, things that they could cope, with your dietaries, different stuff like that needed as well.
I love it. I quickly want to mention as well, beverages, dinner, drinks. We've got some phenomenal bars on board Princess, over 20 exciting bars and lounges to enjoy around the fleet, something for everybody. We did win the 2025 award for excellence by Wine Spectator. We are known for our wine and our sommeliers. We are known for leading with entertainment forward. You might be in our live bar, Princess Live, and you could be watching karaoke and having a lovely drink. You could be in our wheelhouse bar with some live music, which is an upscale nautical style bar. We really do have something for everyone. I like the idea of crooners, listening to a top-notch pianist playing music with a martini. There are so many options, something for absolutely everybody. I love it. I want to quickly mention we've got our new pause. It just came out a few days ago. We have really put so much effort into the non-alcoholic, zero-proof collection of drinks. The QR code there will tell you more about it, included in Princess Plus and Premier. And the big gist of it is it's not just loads of sugar in a drink. It is elevated with botanicals and real ingredients, and it's a real big thing for your guests that maybe don't drink or they just fancy not having a hangover. I don't know, but it really is something we're very excited about. This has just come out, Marcus. Have you heard much about this one yet?
No, literally, we sort of have a few conversations. I've seen a little bit of it pop up just on presentation. But I think it's a great idea. Obviously, as part of your package, you get obviously a lot of drinks included, variant depending on the package you're on. And I think again, you covered. We've talked a lot about food today, obviously, which is really important. But drinks that we have available, the associations that they do, not only, of course, with your restaurant brands where you're tying into people like Rudy and Dario's and links and connections. They do the same with amazing drinks brands. So you've got some incredible ones on there, for example, like Hampton Water with Bon Jovi's Son's Vineyard. You've got lots of other stuff as well. You've got Michael, was it Michael Marne and his wife as well, the spirits. There's just so many incredible different things that they've got and links. And I think, it's really important, again, because you want that variety. We don't, we wake up sometimes and we do want a soft drink and actually want to bring that flavour out. And as you said, you don't want to have so much sugar. So really bringing those botanicals to the market is a great thing to do, because I think sometimes, a lot of cruise liners can be a bit sort of too heavy with lots of sugar, lots of flavour, far too much alcohol. Not that we don't mind a bit of alcohol, but you've got to have a little balance in between.
Marcus, we have got to the stage of this webinar, and I just have to say thank you. I can't see any comments or anything happening there, but if you are watching this webinar today, please show Marcus some love for coming out today and talking about our amazing food offering on board. Marcus, I love chatting to you. I really, really do. Thank you for joining us. I'm now just going to quickly talk about our packages, how that value lands. And really, when it comes to food and drinks, Princess Plus, 12 bottles of water, both of these include 12 bottles of water free, all the specialty teas and coffees, they're all included. And then on top of that, Princess Plus, you get 4 casual meals included per week, 4 casual meals included per cruise. Now that's really special. The Ocean Now is included, but that Princess Premier, when we're talking about value, unlimited casual, those casual restaurants you could go to every single night, unlimited speciality restaurants. So you could go there, you go casual every lunch, speciality every evening, and that is included with that £75 per person per day. And that value on top of all of the other things that are included from, of course, unlimited drinks, unlimited with Princess Premier, unlimited for up to $20 per drink. It's so great, the value, what you can get when it comes to food and beverage. So really, when you're talking to your guests, it isn't which package they should do when it comes to these bars and restaurants. It's which one. And I just really want to say thank you for watching this webinar. Find out more. We have got a separate webinar all about our packages, which we'd love for you to watch. And Josephine, while I wrap up, we should give out our final prize. I want to say one final thank you to you, Marcus. It's always a pleasure.
My pleasure.
Have we got a winner? Thank you, Marcus. The winner's been posted. It's there.
The winner has just been about to be posted. So Noreen Cullen is our winner.
Congratulations, Noreen.
Oh,
You've just won this. Really appreciate it. I want to quickly highlight, as I mentioned before, our Fam Trip incentive is now live. If you make a Princess booking, you can submit on our form. You could be sailing with me. I'm going to the Meds on a 7-day trip. I'm going to the West Coast. We can eat food together. From this, we're going to work very hard to get a speciality trip restaurant booked in as well. I really will. I promise. We're going to try and get something sorted. But this is the best time to go on these trips. As I said, the flights, the hotels, balcony cabin, and a package is part of this. We're doing it for agents. There is nothing more valuable than getting agents on board our ships. As well, I mentioned before, we've got the last minute deals going on with our Fly Med cruises in the Med. We've got $50 bonus commission as well. Our Japan and Southeast Asia is now live, so you can book them. And we even have our travel agents platforms that you can still log into and find out more about what we're up to. I want to quickly share this, which is our training calendar. You can still do our Mediterranean Kahoot quiz whenever you want. It's going to pop up now in theory. There it is in theory. Otherwise, we're going to share it in the chat here. Thank you for watching, everyone. Sorry about a little bit of technical difficulties with the slides. We ran it 3 times this morning. It was fine, but that's technology. We have got our Mediterranean Kahoot quiz. You can play it when you like. As well as that, don't miss out on our Princess Pub quiz this week. Whatever you do, thanks for coming out. Thank you. And I'm now stopping sharing. I'm back. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you joining us today. Thank you to Josephine. Thank you to Marcus. And we hope you really enjoyed this. Noreen and any other winner, we do need you to email academy@princesscruises.com so I can send you your gifts. Thanks for joining us, everybody.